Hello, this is Malorian from the Orc Tactical Team, and today we're going to be talking about detachments from Empire. And I've been talking about different type of tactics, and really, when it comes to Empire detachments, they're just the icing on the cake. You can do everything that you can do with any other army, but then these are just extra things that you can do with Empire that nobody else can do. So really, if you're knowing what you're doing, it just gives you so many more possibilities. So just to give you a quick little rundown of it, the way it works is that you have a parent block, and then you can have up to one or two detachments. These detachments have to be half the size of the parent or less, can have command, and then there's a whole bunch of ways that they interact. So just getting right to it, there's different types of detachments you could take, way to specialize them really. And so you could have a combat detachment, you could have a shooting detachment, which is a slash just because detachment, but we'll get into that. You could have a screening detachment, or you can also have a baiting detachment. So the first one, the combat detachment, the way it works is that with your parent block, when either the parent block charges or gets charged, after all other charges are done, they can join in. So as long as they can see the flank and have room to get there, they move up and they get this free charge in. You don't have to worry about setting up all these, fleas and counters. It just happens. It's wonderful. And all of a sudden you take flanks away from your opponent, and you can just crush them with your cheap infantry. But the main thing you're going to be looking for here with this detachment is that either you're looking for one that's going to hit hard or it's going to survive. So hit hard, that's going to be halberdiers, just if you want to get that extra little hit. And if you want to survive, probably swordsmen are the best way to go. For the size that you want for this, the classic one that you see a lot of is 9, and will be as 3 rows of 3. And the reason for that is, one, with that small unit, it's easy to wheel, so it's easier to get to the spot you need to. It doesn't take up a lot of space, you can compact your line more. And the other thing is it takes 3 kills just to cause a panic test. So that's good, because some people that know detachments will try and wipe them out before they come into play. So you want them to stay in there as long as possible. The next one are the shooting detachments. So these are usually the crossbowmen or handgunners, doesn't matter which one it is. And the way it works is, for them, if they're close enough and the parent unit gets charged, they get a free stand and shoot that doesn't get any minuses for the charging penalty. So that's a great way of getting some free shots in. You might take away a rank bonus, but in the end, you're kind of tied to this unit, because both those units, crossbowmen or handgunners, can't move and shoot. So a lot of times you'll see people just take them and leave them behind, and that's where we get to calling them just because detachments. A lot of people will have these units of crossbowmen or handgunners just there to shoot, and as long as you have enough core so that they're not needed to be your actual required ones, why not join them as detachments? And the reason being for that is that, one, detachments don't cause panic to you, so if they got wiped out, you don't need to worry about panic destroying your entire line. And second of all, because they're placed with the parent unit, you have less drops, which means you have a better chance of getting the +1 for first turn. The next one is the screening unit, the screening detachment. And the best one for this is where we're going to be talking about archers, and you usually just take some of them, you throw them in front of the parent block, and that's just to make sure that your main block doesn't get blasted by magic and stuff. 5 archers, which is the minimum size, is only 40 points. If they get blasted by a huge spell, who cares, right? As long as that main block is fine, no panics are caused, and they can move up and do what you need to do. Another one is the bait, and for Empire, they have some of the greatest bait units. First of all, you can use those archers from before to be bait units because of the way that you have to charge skirmishers, but charging toward the closest one. But also because you only need 5 models in a detachment, they have a lot of different choices for 5-point models. You can have 25-point throwaway units, and that's just amazing, especially because they don't even cause panic. And for these, I'd keep them as cheap as possible, so whether they are, spearmen wouldn't make any sense, but whether they're halberdiers or even free company, it doesn't really matter which one it is. There could be another throwaway unit that they can attack and destroy, but really, who cares about them? If with 5 models they need to kill 2 anyway to cause a test, you just want to keep these things as cheap as possible so you can run them up and control where charges are coming from. So those are those, and maybe backing up, we'll start talking about some of the different parent units. And a lot of people talk about whether swordsmen are the best, or is it best to go with the spearmen or halberdiers, and actually a lot of people agree that halberdiers are crap and all this stuff, right? Really, when you start crunching the numbers, assuming that you give shields to the halberdiers and the spearmen so that they're all 6 points, they can always go with shields and they can all get the same save. Most of them, it really doesn't matter. The swordsmen have a better weapon skill, so they can be better, but then sometimes it's better to have the option for spears if you ever need it. And sometimes halberdiers, why not, right? But the main thing is that if you like the look of one of them, the stats behind them is fairly insignificant. So whatever one you go with, overall, I have to say swordsmen are the best way to go. But if you like halberdiers, go for it. As long as you go with shields, usually you'll be fine, and it doesn't really matter. And if you ever get to charge, now you have your halberds to go and smash them with. You can also take a parent unit of crossbowmen or handgunners, and whereas most people won't take a huge block of them, they can actually become handy. Not to take as a block, but just as a big wide parent unit for whenever people are doing their gun lines. And so the idea there is that you'd have a big unit of 10 or 20 handgunners, probably more likely 10, and then 2 little detachments of 5 handgunners. This is the same cost as if you had 2 units of 10. However, now those ones don't cause panic, and when the enemies start coming towards you, you can run them up to start blocking them, redirecting, and it's just a more effective gun line. So there are reasons why you might make them a parent. The other unit that could be a parent unit is greatswords, and people hate them, but they actually have their uses. And if you really think about them, a lot of times in a way they're just better swordsmen. And the way that I'm going to say that is because swordsmen in combat have a 4+ save, greatswords have a 4+ save, but the greatswords still have that save from shooting, and really they're the same initiative. And if the greatswords use their hand weapons, they're the same everything in combat. It's just that they have the option for the great weapons and for the stubborn. You are paying the extra points, but the big thing here is that a lot of your other Empire units don't have the big hard hitting power. So if you are ever against an opponent where you really just have to get the kills if you're ever going to really beat them, greatswords might be the way to go. And whereas with the other ones for apparent units, you might be having them 5 wide just to make sure you have your rank static res. The greatsword you'd obviously have 7 wide. 1 detachment might be the screen to make sure they're not shot. Another detachment should be the combat one, because you're going to be fighting. And with this, because we're already saying that they're designated against a unit that you want to get kills against, you probably want to have a halberdier detachment just to make sure you're hitting them with as much as possible. And just one good comparison, just to try and say why greatswords aren't that bad, is when you go through a lot of the lists, you'll see that people think that greatswords are horrible, but a lot of them take flagellants, and they're the same cost. And the reason why they take flagellants is because they can hold up units, they're unbreakable, and they have a big attack on the charge. Well, they're the same cost, but the greatswords can have detachments, and they have that high strength all the time. You don't have to worry about getting them baited. So really, unless you're looking at the times where they're being auto-broken by fear, I'd rather go with the greatswords. And this is kind of breaking away from the detachments, but to say a little more note of those greatswords is that you could even take them as a unit of 5, run them as a Congo line just to hold something up. I wish we could take greatswords as detachments, but that's just not the way it is. So that's all I want to say about detachments right now. Main thing, just the recap here, is that for the parent unit, doesn't matter which one of those 3 units you use, swordmen are a bit better, but it doesn't really matter. For the combat blocks, the combat detachment, you probably want swordsmen or halberdiers. For the screen, you want archers, and then for the baits, anything that's cheap. So that's detachments. I am going to be putting up some battle reports that's going to be using some detachments, so you can see them there. And in the next episode, we're going to be talking about tactical terrain. So I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.